Well, it's official. Jason Momoa is going to play Lobo in the DCU. And Batman makes another appearance in the stupidest episode of Creature Commandos yet. Well, in a move that surprises absolutely no one at all, it was announced a few days ago that Jason Momoa will be taking on the role of intergalactic motorcycle riding bounty hunter Lobo in the up and coming Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow film. Now, this really shouldn't come as a big shocker to anyone, seeing how back in November of 2022, Momoa was yammering on and on about thanking the maestro for the opportunity to do his dream project and how he's always wanted to play Lobo. So yes, it looks like it's actually going to happen. And yes, it looks like Momoa's days as Aquaman are indeed finally over. And yes, well, I could freaking care less. I didn't really care for Momoa as Aquaman towards the end anyways. I mean, they made him out to be a falling down drunk who sleeps in mud puddles for one thing. Once Zack Snyder was no longer involved, every single DCEU character left in the end was made a mockery out of. Flash, Wonder Woman, Affleck as Batman, and Aquaman. And honestly, I don't really think much of Lobo as a character. He's third tier at best in the DC world as far as I'm concerned. But that seems to be what little Jimmy Gunn is going for. Commandos, The Authority, Lobo, Guy Gardner, Hot Girl, not exactly the holy grail of the DC lineup if you ask me. Now sure, we're getting Hal Jordan as Green Lantern, but as a second to Jon Stewart. And we did get a better silhouetted look of Batman in the latest episode of Creature Commandos, and that stands to reason because, as I said in my last show, the DCU ain't going to be the DCU without its most popular, most bankable hero. But more on Batman later. And so, yes, for what it's worth, Jason Momoa is officially coming to the DCU in what looks to be a very busy year for James Gunn, but albeit as a completely different character. One of the few actors from the old DCEU to find a home in the new DCU. Apparently, he will be the big baddie in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and to clarify just how busy little Jimmy Gunn will be, well, as I said earlier, we have Supergirl beginning production this month. The Green Lantern series begins production in February. Clayface sometime early this year. Superman hits the big screen in July. Peacemaker Season 2 debuts after Superman comes out. And the Batman 2? Well, hell, your guess is as good as mine. I just hope little Jimmy Gunn is taking all his vitamins. And speaking of Batman, the Dark Knight made another brief appearance in the latest episode of Creature Commandos. And this one was a bit more detailed than the last, although it was still nothing more than a silhouette as demanded by James Gunn. But we did get to see more of an idea of where Gunn is headed in regards to how he wants his version of Batman to look. And I have to say that it looks, well, nothing like Robert Pattinson at all. He's bigger, bulkier, and the cowl looks, well, let's just say not quite as pointy in the old bat ears. If anything, well, he looks a whole hell of a lot like this guy, which to me is both very cool and very sad because you see, damn it, I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought he was perfect in the role, and he was very comic book accurate. But for now, at least, well, that bat ship has sailed. And so, as I was saying, Gunn's vision does not really look a lot like Pattinson at all. So unless he is going to really bulk the hell up and get a new uniform, I'm beginning to wonder if he's truly being groomed to be the DCU Batman after all. That maybe Gunn and WB decided that it's just best for Matt Reeves to finish the Elseworlds project that he started and then move on. I'd like to see what Reeves does with the rest of his world, especially since we've seen the Penguin series in action. Then Gunn can handpick his very own bulked up Batman, which I still believe he already has had picked for some time now in this guy. You've heard me say it here time and time again, for those of you that actually watch my show that is, that I think Gunn wants Chris Pratt as Batman. I've thought it since he popped up on the Superman set last year, and he said he would love to join the DCU. Even Gunn stated that they talk about it all the time. So who knows? It could just happen. I mean, obviously, Gunn had Momoa in mind 2 years ago when casting Lobo, so it's not so far-fetched if you ask me that he wants to pick Pratt as Batman. But as always, we will just have to wait and see. That's it for this one. What do you think about Jason Momoa coming to the DCU as Lobo? Are you excited about what lies ahead for DC this year? And just who do you think will wind up being the DCU Batman? I'd like to know. Feel free to leave any comments that you might have in the section down below. And if you like today's show, why don't you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me. God bless and socks out.